Welcome to Sunday Club in the Stable. I'm Paul, and this is Hannah.
Hi friends, missing you. I hope you're staying safe. In our story today, we find out the next part of Samuel's journey, although we don't really hear much about Samuel himself. God's people are at war with a bunch of people who would quite like to get them out of the way. Now, they have a fight and God's people lose. God's people think, aha, we'll go and get our precious God box. That will help us. So they get this box that's so precious to them and contains some really important things. And they took it to war with them. And they lost the war. And they lost their special God box. And they lost a lot of people. God's people seem to think that their victory, their winning, was in this box. But it looks like they'd forgotten God. They'd forgotten the gods that they were trying to follow. They used God a bit like a charm, rather than seeing him for his love for them and his longing for friendship with them. I've got something for you to make today, to think about this idea of friendship with God. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you will have heard about the idea of a friendship bracelet. And normally the idea is that you would make one of these and give it to your friend to remind your friend of your friendship. Today, we're going to make one for ourselves, but it's there to remind us of our friendship with God. Now, I have made a traditional one and a not so traditional one. This one, I chose 3 different colours of thread. You can use wool or string, and I plaited them together, tying knots at both ends. And then you might want to get someone else to put it on your wrist, making sure it's not too tight. The other idea is to make this cord. You will need at least 2 pieces of different coloured cotton. You need to fold it in half. It needs to be long enough that if you were to fold it in half again, it would still go around your wrist. So you've got your cotton folded in half, and then you need to tie a knot in the end where the ends of the cotton meet. Then you need to get some good sellotape and tape the ends of your cotton to something that's quite secure. At the end where there's a loop, you're going to take a pen or a pencil and slot it into the loop so it holds the cotton. Now, we are going to twist and twist and twist this pen to make all of this twist together. Now, you don't want to make it too tight because I did that and it snapped on one of my goes. But you don't want to make it too loose either because you won't get this curly-whirly effect. You might see it in the picture that I'm showing you now. So, let's twist away. Okay, I think this is tight enough. You'll be able to tell because when you're pulling this away from the sellotape, if you slightly let it go back, it tries to curl back in on itself. which is what we want it to do, but we need to do it carefully so it folds in the right way. Now, you take your pen, keep hold of it, tight hold of it, and keep the other end in the sellotape. Now with this finger, roughly find the middle of the thread and fold it in half, keep tight hold of this, you can work out. I'm going to take the end that's got sellotape on it, peel it off, and then I'm going to let go of my cotton, and you will see that it's twisted back on itself. It's going to tie a knot in the end type bits. And now you have a different kind of friendship bracelet. I'm going to add something else to our idea as well. You might have noticed that I have got a Lego brick sat on the side. Now I've got a grown up in my house to poke some holes in my Lego brick. I'm not going to tell you how I did it because I don't really want you to try it at home because it could be a bit risky. So if your grown-ups want to ask me how I did it, they can email me to the email address below. Now, my tiny holes are really important because I'm going to thread one of my friendship bracelets through those tiny holes. I'm going to show you. Again, you might have seen it is a little bit fiddly, which is why I had a pipe cleaner to help me to scoop the thread up. But you'll also now see that my Lego brick is attached to my friendship bracelet that reminds me of my friendship with God. We can also use this to help us to pray. You might have a Lego person that you think looks like you. I've chosen one that looks like me, maybe. And when I'm spending time with God, maybe I could connect myself to this block and just remind myself that I am a friend of God's and that I can talk to Him wherever I am, whatever I'm doing. I can tell Him how I'm feeling. I can listen to Him. I can ask Him what He's thinking and how He's feeling. And I can grow my friendship with God. Now, I don't recommend leaving your Lego person on all of the time, but maybe in the times that you spend time with God, you could do it to help your head think a little more. God continued to love His people despite all of their little hiccups, today's story being one example. One of the ways He continued to show people that He loved them was by sending Jesus to the earth to show them how to live, what friendship with God was like, and what it was like to live for God. I've got 2 questions for you today.
2 questions?
Yeah, I know. The first one is, what are we doing to make sure we stay friends with God and Jesus if we're choosing to follow them? And the second question is, if friendship with God and Jesus is worth doing, if friendship with God and Jesus is worth doing and so amazing, which I think it is, surely it's worth sharing. A Bible verse that helps me to think about these things says this: fix your eyes on Jesus It's from Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. We need to keep our eyes on Jesus every day to help us to know friendship with God. Thank you for watching Paul and I for Sunday Club in a Stable today. If you've liked what you've seen, give us a thumbs up in the bar below, and why not subscribe so you can be updated when we post new videos. But for now, it's bye from us and a virtual high five.